Hello, good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight. I'm Roger Johnson. Thank you for joining us on this Monday evening. Our top story. A jury is told that both teenagers who are accused of murdering Brianna Ghey did it. They blame each other. The prosecution was summing up at the end of their trial. Also tonight, a man's pulled from the rubble after a suspected gas explosion destroys a house in Blackburn. Painting the town blue, tributes to the Everton chairman Bill Kenwright at a star-studded memorial service.
Hey, listen, he started off in the balls pen at Goodison Park and he ended up being chairman of the club. It don't get any better than that.
Is it Barking Mad? The canine nativity play which had them howling on the Isle of Man.
And it's a week to go till Christmas. How are we looking as we head through the week? Well, join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the weather details.
The jury in the trial of a teenage boy and teenage girl who are accused of murdering 16-year-old Brianna Ghey has heard contrasting explanations of what happened. In its closing speech, the prosecution said that there can be no doubt that both participated in the murder. The defence for the girl said that the evidence shows that she didn't take part. The teenagers blame each other for stabbing Brianna at a park at Culcheth near Warrington in February. Andy Gill has been at Manchester Crown Court.
The girl and the boy accused of murdering Brianna Ghey were both 15 at the time, and for legal reasons they can't be identified. Today the jury heard the closing speech from Brianna Ghey KC, who's leading the prosecution. She said the jury may find it difficult to fathom how two children could do what they allegedly did. She said the jury may be tempted to seek an explanation. They are children after all, she said. But Ms Ghey said the prosecution don't have to prove why a crime was committed, only that it has been. She said the evidence shows that both participated in the murder by encouraging each other, by making and taking part in a plan, and by concealing evidence afterwards. She accepted that some of the messages between the two about killing people had initially been fantasies, but she said as the weeks passed these became more detailed and more real. They were leading each other along a path that becomes more extreme and more real as time passes. The jury also heard today from Richard Pratt KC, who's defending the girl X. He addressed whether the messages between the two had been fantasies or not, and he pointed to another message in which the girl had said she'd already killed 2 other people when she clearly had not done so. Mr Pratt said the scientific evidence showing that Brianna's blood was on boy Y's clothing but not on the girl's showed that he was the only one who'd stabbed Brianna. He also said that the boy was the only one who'd had the strength to cause some of Brianna's injuries. Tomorrow, the defence for boy Y will start their closing speech, and the judge is expected to start her summing up of the case. Andy Gill, BBC North West Tonight at Manchester Crown Court.
The chief executive of Cellfield has hit back at reports that computer systems at the nuclear site in Cumbria have been hacked. Ewan Hutton told the BBC that there was no evidence that Cellfield's IT networks have been targeted by groups linked to foreign governments. He also rejected allegations of serious safety failings at the plant. Mr Hutton was responding to claims in a series of articles in the Guardian newspaper. Ferry staff on the Isle of Man have voted to strike in a row over employment conditions. The union Nautilus said that 89% of members working for the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company have supported a walkout. The dispute is over plans to impose live-on-board conditions on sailings between Douglas and Heysham on the new vessel, the Manxman. Although no dates for action have yet been set, the union says that disruption to ferry services is likely. Emergency first aid kits to help save the lives of stabbing victims have been placed at key areas around Liverpool city centre. The initiative is driven by the charity Knife Savers and supported by the mother of 12-year-old Ava White, who was stabbed to death 2 years ago. It's a story we've reported several times on the programme. 1,500 kits now containing emergency first aid equipment have already gone to local clubs, bars and schools. Tributes have been paid to the showbiz star Mo Moreland, who has died at the age of 87. Mo was a member of the comedy dance troupe The Roly-Polies and often performed alongside the comedian Les Dawson. It's understood that she passed away at a nursing home in Blackpool after a long illness. Now, a man is recovering in hospital tonight after he was pulled from the wreckage of a suspected gas explosion in Blackburn. It happened at a terraced house on London Road last night, with the blast shaking the surrounding area. Kevin Fitzpatrick's been there today. He sent this report.
It's 7:40 p.m. and suddenly the piece is shattered. This CCTV footage was captured from a house across the road. Today, it was a scene of devastation, a collapsed roof and 2 cars outside crushed by falling debris. People living around here said they thought there'd been an earthquake, and you can see from just how far these bricks have been thrown and the windows blasted out from the front just how powerful this explosion was. When the fire brigade arrived, they went in and pulled one man from the rubble. He's been taken to hospital, but his injuries aren't thought to be life-threatening.
Priority is are the people involved, and they made a really rapid entry into the compartment, into the building, just to check if there were anybody involved in the building. Unfortunately, there was somebody involved, but the crew's quick, effective actions obviously determined that we could rescue that individual.
The council says around 50 people had to be moved from their homes. This brother and sister live next door and were out last night, but their parents felt the full force of the explosion.
My mum thought it was an earthquake, like an earthquake or something. They were just screaming. Everyone was screaming, trying to get out of the house. The front door wouldn't open.
Given the fact that it was a big bang and we were literally, my parents were away 1 meter away from the bang and explosion, you can expect how much of a impact they have.
No injuries, but my mum is struggling at the moment. She's just at home. And
yeah, my parents are traumatised from the loud bang, the fireball.
A second man was taken to the Royal Blackburn Hospital to be treated for minor injuries, and there's huge relief in the local community that no lives were lost.
The people was shocked, and when we came here to see this happen, and the people see it, also say, thanks God, you save our life.
It's not yet clear when the evacuated homes will be deemed safe for families to return. In the meantime, the police are now investigating what caused such a damaging explosion. Kevin Fitzpatrick, BBC North West Tonight, Blackburn.
Now, one of the darker sides of the excitement around Christmas at this time of year is, unfortunately, that it is the worst time of year for cases of domestic violence. And one charity which supports abuse victims in Cheshire is concerned about how it will cope with demand for its services after its funding's been cut by a quarter, yet referrals are already up 38% this year. We're going to talk to the Chief Executive of Cheshire Without Abuse. Her name's Saskia Lightburn-Ritchie, and she's here in the studio. And Saskia, first of all, compliments of the season, and thank you for coming in to speak to us. Just explain why Christmas is the busiest time for you.
I mean, it's busy every year, and I think it's that unique combination of pressures that all families feel. The pressure to have that rose-tinted Christmas that everybody wants to have, the pressure financially of providing all the gifts, the pressure of children being off school and everybody being in the house together. And even for families where there is no abusive behaviour, that can be really challenging and difficult. If you add that into a situation where there are already cracks in that relationship or there's already harmful behaviours, then it tends to simmer and simmer and simmer, pressure cooker, isn't it? And then explode. Absolutely, it's like a volcano. And you know, we work with adults and children of any age and any gender. It's
not just women.
No, absolutely
not. And obviously, predominantly women are the victims of abuse, but it can be men as well.
Absolutely. Men are victims of domestic abuse. 1 in 6 men will experience domestic abuse in their adult life. So it's really prolific. We have men and women in our refuge accommodation, which is full. And what we know from previous years is that demand for those spaces will hit the roof just before Christmas.
Does that worry you then, the fact that, as you say, it's full? You know, are you concerned about how you can cope? And I'm sure there are other charities out there providing a similar service.
I think this is an issue for most charities like ours in the North West and other parts of the country. My concern is that reducing funding across the board means that we don't have the capacity to meet the additional demand. And of those 38% of increased number of cases that you mentioned, 26% are of really high risk, where they're at high risk of harm.
So what's the advice to somebody who is in an abusive situation, who is scared, maybe doesn't know what to do, doesn't know where to turn? What's the advice? I
think if you are worried that you're experiencing domestic abuse or that you are being abusive to family members, then help is out there, definitely. If you're in Cheshire, you can go to our website at MyCWA. There's advice and guidance on there for people in both of those situations. And we'll be doing our best over Christmas to make sure all the children in those families are getting the support that they need.
Thank you for coming in to talk to us. We're very grateful to you. Saskia Lightburn-Ritchie, who's the Chief Executive of Cheshire Without Abuse. And Saskia mentioned her website. You can also find details on the BBC Action Line website of organisations that can help. Just go to bbc.co.uk/Action Line. Now, last Monday, if you were watching the programme, you'll know that we spoke to Frank Rothwell. He's the 73-year-old chairman of Oldham Athletic, and he was about to set off to row the Atlantic again to raise money for Alzheimer's research. Frank became the oldest person to make the solo crossing. When he finished the event, it's called the world's toughest row, 2 years ago. It was about 5 days and around about 250 miles into his 3,000-mile crossing now, but this morning he capsized. Twice. Asked him what happened.
Oh, I had a great night last night. I did about 20 odd miles during the dark hours, and then at 7 o'clock, just as I was getting up, all of a sudden we got hit by this massive wave on the side of the boat, and the boat rolled over, and everything went. It was like full 360. So anyway, after a while, I thought I'll give it a miss today. I'll put the boat on sea anchor, which is a big parachute that we throw in the sea with 100 metres of rope on it, and it holds the boat steady. And I'm outside of the boat, hooked on, and also another big wave hit, and it washed me overboard and turned the boat 100% right round, right under the boat, up the other side. So I'm a day off today. I'm just sat here in the rough sea, bobbing around.
Frank, the most important question is, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I was a bit surprised, feel a bit distressed, but physically I'm okay. I've also had a bit of a sleep and a rest, and tomorrow's another day, and we'll have another walk tomorrow.
So you're not thinking of giving up?
I'm not giving up, no. So I said to the race organiser, I said, I've done enough now. I said, are you going to pull me out? And they said, no, you're going to... You can still keep going. Oh no.
Oh, Frank, I know you're an experienced yachtsman, but have you ever had an experience like that before?
Nothing at all, nothing at all. I've done about 80,000 miles, and that's a lot of sail. I've been around the world, and I've never experienced anything like that. I've never had to put the sea anchor out in anger before, which I've had to do today.
Well, listen, Frank, the most important thing is that you are safe. We wish you all the very best, and we'll keep in touch, of course. You take care.
Thank you very much for taking my call. Thank you, Roger, indeed.
You can find out lots more about Frank on the Alzheimer's Research website. Right, let's move on to sport. We wish him well, obviously, Frank. Richard is here. Now, Manchester City are playing in the, what is it, the World Club Cup semi-final.
Right. Yes.
I guess there's a chance of another bit of silverware, I guess, if they win that. But
also, take it seriously, Roger. I think. Yeah.
And also, they now know where they're going in the latter stages of the Champions League.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So they play the Asian champions, Urawa Red Diamonds.
Will they beat
tomorrow? I think probably they
Hopefully.
will. Probably. Yeah. And then in the last 16 of the Champions League, they take on FC Copenhagen, who of course came from Manchester United's group. Okay. So not a bad draw for City. Our only winners in the EFL were in League Two, with victories from the top two, setting up a mouth-watering contest on Boxing Day. Leaders Stockport County winning 8-0 against Sutton United. Paddy Madden with a hat-trick. It leaves County 6 points clear of second-place Barrow, who won 3-0 at Swindon. The Bluebirds host County on Boxing Day. And Morecambe got back to winning ways in style with an emphatic win. 5-0. Here it comes as one of the goals at Doncaster. Morecambe have since been given a suspended 3-point deduction, though, by the EFL, who say the club has failed to follow a financial agreement relating to players' wages. In the WSL, Liverpool came from behind to win 2-1 at Manchester United. Taylor Hines with the winner to move Liverpool level on points with United. They both trail second-place Manchester City by 4 points after City's 4-1 victory at Everton. Well, Everton fans and players were among hundreds of people from football, theatre and film who attended a memorial service today to remember the life of Bill Kenwright. The club's longest-serving chairman died at the age of 78 in October.
He loved me, he loved our dogs, he loved our home. And oh, he loved his club. The Royal Blues, the Toffees.
And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Time on my head.
He started off in the balls pit at Goodison Park and he ended up being chairman of the club. It don't get any better than that.
I almost felt like a distant relative. That's probably the biggest compliment I can give him.
No words can ever be enough for the man Bill Kenwright was. So on behalf of Liverpool Football Club and the Hillsborough families, all our condolences.
It's just a brilliant person, a lovely human being, and someone who I'll never ever forget, and someone who I miss dearly, to be honest.
From a Liverpool point of view, we really liked the man. We really got on with him, and his passion for this city was remarkable as well.
When a dark wood fell before me, and all the paths were overgrown.
He gave his all to help them be the best they could be, more interested in their success than his own.
To sorrows of stone.
Was a remarkable man who touched so many lives. I will miss him dearly, and so will everyone at Everton Football Club. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for making me an Evertonian.
Remember me.
Certainly had a huge impact, didn't he, Bill? Now, Oldham rugby legend Kevin Sinfield says he'll never stop raising money to help people with motor neuron disease. He recently competed another epic challenge, running 7 ultramarathons over 7 days. He's raised more than £9 million since his best friend and former teammate Rob Burrow was diagnosed with the condition 4 years ago this month. Well, I've been speaking with Kevin today and asked him, first of all, how those battered feet are bearing up.
Yeah, they're a mess. I think because
don't show us, Kevin.
No, they're all right. They're all right now. Do you know what? They heal really quickly. Yeah, so it's worth every step. Everybody rolls their sleeves up and just makes it work.
Obviously, you've got the support of your team, but you've got so much support wherever you go. How much of a difference does that make to you?
That makes it so worthwhile, and I think probably, certainly for us, we get so much energy from that. It's really uplifting.
You've raised more than £1 million for this challenge, more than £9 million in all with all of your challenges. It's an obvious question, this, Kevin, but what sort of a difference is it making, that money?
The amount of research that's gone in over the last few years is massively increased, and unfortunately we've still not got a massive breakthrough that's going to move this. So we've got to keep going. And the thing that does that is the cash, right? It's the money. And we're not here with a begging bowl, but that's the reality of it. We're going to find a cure. It's the money that's going to change that.
We know you love Rob Burrow like we do. We know you love.
Not just physically, Kevin, but how emotionally do you deal with this? Because you're running for your best friend, you're running for all of these people that have become your friends. How do you deal with it emotionally?
Yeah, that's tough. Try and use it as fuel. You're trying to find different ways of occupying that time and filling and getting rid of the pain, trying to find ways of getting rid of the pain. We have music playing, try and zone out at different times. And
what's your go-to song, Kevin?
I do like Paolo Nutini, Last Request, but that's no, I'm going to try and save that to a bit later on in the day.
Otherwise you might speed up to it.
Yeah.
I can't accept that we are going nowhere, but one last time, let's go there.
How determined are you to carry on raising money until hopefully they find a cure for MND?
Until we find a cure and until I know that everybody who's diagnosed with MND gets looked after properly, we have to continue. Now that might not be running, but do not.
These have had enough, have they, Kev?
No, they've not had enough. No, I'm committed to this for life now. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm part of this community and I want to help. But I've still got a bit of running left in me, so we'll see.
No stopping him, Rog. What a job Kevin's doing.
Wish I was as fit as he was.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rich. Thank you. Right, now, BBC Radio Lancashire's Lancashire Sings Christmas is something that's been happening for a number of years. This year, though, the carol service, which was also broadcast live on the radio, obviously had a very special theme. Carers Sing Christmas. It was a celebration of carers from across the county, as well as the organisations which support them, as Juliet Phillips reports.
A very special Christmas for me. Whoa.
Gabriella and Jasmine were the stars of the show when they sang at this very special Christmas concert.
Oh, shake your hand, shake your
Watched proudly by their dad Josh and mum Sarah, the sisters care for their parents after they had to be medically discharged from the army.
Because we love singing, we just feel free and we just feel happy when we're singing. Yeah, we just love it. It's something that we both enjoy, and because we're sisters, it's even better because we're always together.
So tell me a bit about some of the things that you help your mum and dad with.
Or if they're like a bit sad, we just like try and comfort them, make them feel happy at all times. Yeah. Or yeah, just do take the washing and do simple things that just really help a lot.
Earlier this year, Gabriella and Jasmine won the BBC Radio Lancashire's Make a Difference award.
I think sometimes they don't realise how much they actually help us. They help us like emotionally if we're having a really low day. They help us with physical jobs around the house. That's more for me if I'm struggling with my pain.
So how proud are you of the girls today?
It made me cry and made me emotional all the time. So I'm really proud of them of what happened to me and my wife, and for them to carry on doing it and go through everything that we go through. I'm really proud of them.
Carers Sing Christmas was a musical celebration of carers and the organisations who support them. In good voice was John from Preston. He's now a carer for his wife after she was diagnosed with dementia. A former volunteer at his local sporting memory support group, he now uses the service himself.
You can just relax and talk about sport, and not just sport, but talk about anything. To be with people who are going through the same thing as you are, you don't necessarily have to talk about it. It's just nice to be in the same room as people who you know are caring for a loved one and who are aware of what you're having to go through as well.
It's a really special day today.
It is indeed. It's wonderful. I mean, I've heard it on the radio before, but it's really great to actually come along and be part of it. It's absolutely super.
A day then to spread Christmas cheer amongst the people who dedicate their lives to caring for others. Juliet Phillips, BBC North West Tonight, Blackburn.
Oh, fantastic. And from a Christmas concert to a nativity play with a difference. It is that season, of course, and around the region, proud relatives are packing into school and village halls to watch their little ones act out the Christmas story. But on the Isle of Man, there has been a nativity with a canine twist. And Ashley Tracy joined the audience in Derby.
You might have been to a school play this Christmas, but on the Isle of Man, a special version of that famous story was told with pooches taking centre stage at the Dogtivity. Cockapoos, Cocker Spaniels and Border Collies played the roles of angels, the innkeeper and the three wise dogs.
And wrapped him up warmly.
A crossbreed called Weasel sat very still as Jesus, and this clever boy used a special trick to get the innkeeper's attention. It was so popular with pet owners, there was almost no room at the inn. Organisers say it opens up the story to a different audience.
The dogs are part of our family, and God loves all creatures, big and small. This is a way really to connect with our community. Some people may not go to church, that's absolutely fine, but Christmas is all about love and joy. And if we can spread a little bit of that today, that would be amazing.
They've all been absolutely brilliant. As the saying goes, when you're still working with children and dogs, you can expect anything. But today, everybody's been amazing.
Ashley Tracy, BBC North West Tonight, Derby.
Okay, you can follow that.
That is the best story we've had on this year.
Really?
Look, you can imagine going to watch your George, can you?
No.
Roger! Am I alone in this? That was amazing. I loved it. Hello there. Good evening. Now, weather-wise, do we love that? We're flip-flopping as we head through this week between mild and cold air. More on that in a minute. Polly sent this picture in. It's been a cloudy and a damp day today. We've had that mild air. Tomorrow, we'll be into the cold air. Wednesday, milder. Thursday, you get the picture. There will be further rain at times, and it's going to get very windy, especially on Thursday. That's when we've got a yellow warning in force. So you can see where the orange is, the milder air, replaced tomorrow with blue, back to the orange. The winds really start to strengthen. So actually, by the time we get to Thursday, no matter the temperature, it'll feel a lot colder with the risk of gales. Now, as we head through this evening and at first, it will be dry, but we've got a front pushing up from the south. So I think for Greater Manchester and for Merseyside, we are likely to see some heavy rain. Elsewhere, showers from a cold front to the north, but it won't be that cold. 8 or 9 degrees will be the low, so no frost. Starts to clear from the north as we go through tomorrow morning. So for the Isle of Man, for Cumbria, Lancashire, and then all parts will see some decent spells of sunshine. But we'll also see 1 or 2 showers coming through on a freshening northwesterly breeze. So colder. Today we've got 13 degrees, tomorrow around about 8 degrees. And then as we head through into Wednesday, the winds start to strengthen. As we get to Thursday, we are looking at the potential risk of gales, gusts of up to 60 miles per hour. So do keep an eye on the forecast. All the while, temperatures by then around 10 degrees, just starting to drop by the weekend. That is your forecast.
If my dog was in it, he'd have been the innkeeper and he'd have chased Mary and Joseph away, so that would have been the end of that. He's far too badly behaved.
You would have been in the background like, he's not mine.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Kate. And thank you for watching. Whatever you're up to, have a lovely evening.
Take care.
Bye.